So maybe we would like to also invite the judges to give a short summary or comments, if any, of what you have seen today, or any improvements they would like to see moving forward, or how to make them a better startup.
So thanks again. I really enjoyed myself today, listening to all of you. I have huge respect for anyone who kind of put in effort to start something. I think it's good to dream big, but I think it's always the first baby step is to start something, and that's something that I really appreciate. And I see a lot of effort that you guys have put in today. I think moving forward, like what I think the other folks have shared, most importantly, you have to persevere on and also start to think about where you want to take this company, because it's going to be a long endeavor. So I really think that you have to think very deeply as to, do you want to take this company along with your team over a 5-10 year period? And it's all about timing sometimes. You may not have the best idea at this point of time, but in 3 years' time, you may, that idea could be something really big. So sometimes it's not about rushing into doing that startup, but you may want to sometimes join a startup, get to learn from other founders before you go into the startup. But generally today, I really enjoyed myself. I really like what you guys have presented. A lot of potential in a lot of what I see today. So thanks again for sharing. Thanks.
Maybe Jielun, I think you were going to...
Yeah, go ahead.
So to echo Kelvin, I think it's interesting to see these 4 projects, and actually it kind of exceeded my expectations in terms of the maturity of some of the startups. But I would say that in general, there is actually some form of technology in each of them, which is very interesting. And the demos were actually pretty good, because I get to see it, in action, and some of them are actually pretty cool. It's just, I guess one advice would be, to talk to more industry sort of veterans or the target market, to just figure out whether there is actually a market for your tech, right? It's cool tech, but the other question is there a product market fit? Whether the tech works and whether people are willing to pay for it, right? So I think that's one thing you guys can actually learn and find out from. Yeah.
Thanks, Jielun. Thank you.
Jielun, do you get your checkbook ready?
Yeah.
Invest? Okay, ready. Okay, later we'll see. SC or Yiling, if you have any comments. Yiling, you have any quick comments?
Yeah, thanks everyone for sharing today. I think just one thing, you probably often hear a lot from VCs, and the first question they're going to ask you is really all about market sizes as well, right? I think one thing to bear in mind is that this is a long journey, and not everyone needs to start a startup that will become a unicorn. You can always build sustainable businesses, so don't always try and just chase the fame, the valuation, the money and all that. If you are able to build a sustainable business within a niche itself, that's also success. So don't let, what Tech in Asia EG4301 is saying, determine and shape your view of what success is.
Thank you, Lee. And last but not least, SC.
Yeah, I just want to share. I think what we can teach in the school and the knowledge passed down is only the past, right? For successful or for the unicorn and all this, one of the important characteristics is really the gap that is not being identified with all the current players. Current players, being the structure that they have, they are not able to either know the gaps but not able to address fast enough, or sometimes it's big organization, so it's very difficult to have something that's innovative. So what is very important is for you to learn from the senior people, the knowledge, experience, but ultimately it's the imagination that is a real X factor that you need to work on. How do you get to that level of imagination? That is something which you have to learn through repeating, try, and with passion and all this, it will help you to drive that. But ultimately, it's still I have seen all the successful startups. One characteristic is really the imagination of the founders. Right? You may not have it right away, but if you continue with that, stretch your imagination, that's where you are able to find the final sweet spot for your application and your team, right? Yeah.
Thank you, Essie. Thank you. Thank you, four judges, for a very valuable and actionable advice. And with that, we would like to, on behalf of Ingta and myself, congratulate the 4 startups for graduating from the 1-year program. Yay! It's the most enthusiastic I've seen in the class, which is great, right? And hopefully we'll still see you around in the startup community, all right? Cool. And with that, this is the moment you've been waiting for. Our judges have put in their scores and have decided who is the most investable startup we have tonight. All right, and before that, I would like to invite our Director of IDP, Professor Lo Aipo, to give out the award. And the most investable startup of the night goes to Team Concrete AI. Please come down to receive your most investable prize. You have won yourself a beautiful certificate from Professor Low. A Starbucks card which you can drink lots of coffee with. And maybe you can social distance a little bit. Maybe we can move forward a little bit because the light is pretty bright.